Hi friends, it's Deanna Williston with Our Blooming Catholic Life, and I'm coming to you today with a little belated book review. I'd meant to do this book. It is John Bradburne's Poems on Love, and I had meant to do this when I did another book. The first one went overtime, and I never got back to it. I apologize. Let's open this up. You can see it says John Bradburne on Love, and here he is with one of the residents of Metemwa, a lovely picture, and then, of course, all of the poems in this book were selected and edited by Professor David Crystal. He is the archivist for all of John Bradburne's poems. Let's read the back and see what he wrote here. Of all the themes which comprise John Bradburne's enormous poetic output, one is preeminent: the nature of love. He writes of it from many points of view: as a universal human experience, as an insight into the nature of divinity, as a presence throughout creation, and above all, as the force which brought him to care for the leprosy sufferers at Metemwa in southern Africa. The combination of theological awareness and everyday reality, enlivened by clever wordplay and vivid imagery, provides an inspiring and memorable reading experience. David Crystal selected over 100 of John Bradburne's poems about love, along with thematically related extracts from some of the longer works, and grouped them into 7 sections, which display the different aspects of his poetic vision. John Bradburne on Love adds a valuable new dimension to our understanding of the thought and motivation of a man who integrated so effectively the 3 vocations of writing, thinking, and caring. And this has again been published by Holy Island Press for the John Bradburne Memorial Society. So although it has that lovely pink cover, friends, it's not just about romantic love, although it may appear in here. So let's open up. Again, on the back is a picture of John with one of the residents at Metemwa. Oh, it's John. This is a younger John, and a little bit later John for you. So let's see, what are those little 7 sections? How's it set up? Inside, it's again that lovely script written out, so it gives you a lovely feel. Designed by Hilary Crystal. Nice job. Let's see here. Oh, the table of contents is again very small, probably a 10-point font. There's an introduction, and then the headers, the sections, are in bold, and then the names of the poems, I'm not sure if they're the full names of poems or the sections of poems, are in a regular font, and it has the page numbers listed. But because they use such a tiny font, the page numbers are actually very far away from the words. You can see, isn't that really tiny? That would not be my choice. I'd rather have a few more pages, and there's a huge gap, so it could be a little difficult. Get yourself an index card, perhaps, and you could maybe, go across there and find your page number, or just pick a theme to go with and read several at a time. Let's see here. So there is Being in Love. I'm just going to read the big headers. Being in Love, What is Love? Loving Trinity, Love of Jesus and Mary, Love in Metemwa, Love in Creation, and Love is the Lesson. And then there's a note again at the end. So that's 1, 2, 3 pages just for the index. And this says at the end of each poem is a catalog number, which is its reference number in the online database. And if you've never been there, that is www.johnbradburnepoems.com. And it's very well organized, and you can search for any of these. I don't know that you need the catalog number anymore if you have the poem. The trick is some of the poems have the same names, but they were written in different years. So normally it'll have the name, and if there's multiples by that name, it'll have the year after it. So having the catalog number could probably be handy. Again, he is the most prolific poet in the English language, so there's 1 or 2 poems. I don't know how David whittled it down to just 100, except let's see what he tells us in the introduction. Now that the John Bradburne Poetry Database is complete and available online, it is possible to do some fascinating things with it. In particular, we can search for any word or string of words and find which ones he used most frequently. It's a very simple exercise, but it can provide considerable insight into the nature of his thought. For the more he used a word, the more it must have meant to him. And the more we study his use of words, the more we will come to understand him and learn from him. The commonest words are, of course, those which help us construct sentences, such as the and of. If we ignore these and look for the words that are full of meaning, we find the two that are motivated the present selection of poems. The word he most frequently, well above all others, is God. And the next most frequent is love. The linking of these two words is one of the most familiar associations in Christian belief, but most people would need help if asked to expound what is meant by the deceptively simple sentence, God is love. And what help can we gain from John Bradburne's poetic vision? I'm not going to spoil that for you, friends. You're going to need to jump in. But he does go in here and give you analysis of various little snippets of poems. Lovely, because again, Professor Crystal is the world's expert on the poetry of John Bradburne's poetry. He's the world expert on John Bradburne's poems. There are more photographs in here as well, black and white ones inside. And here's how a chapter begins. It gives you the header, and then a little bit more. Or is that the whole poem? That way? Yes, this is the beginning. And it gives you a little snippet of one poem. Being in love, from I have immortal longings. Where love runs deep, it is a thing immortal, as day spring bright that breaks death's mighty portal. And it tells you 15th March 1969 in the catalog number. So although that is the header, it's also giving you a tiny poem right there. And then a more, which is a much longer than the last. It's a full page. Then this is rather tiny print for me. I mean, I guess this went up to Times New Roman 12, but it still seems small. But I am reading, I'm wearing my reading glasses because they're also my computer blue light glasses. So this is fine for me to read, but they are a little smaller than I would like. But again, these selections are then all on the database. So you may like this book for the commentary and for the selections, but you can always read it online and make the print as large as you may like. And because, especially because he has chosen some of the selections out of longer poems. When I say longer poems, John Bradburne has written some very long poems. And so having those selections taken out, 2 or 3 stanzas, is going to be a game changer for your reading of the poem. And then later you may want to go read the whole poem. No problem. You have the name and the catalog number. Jump on the database and look at that. So this is going to be a great introduction to the topic. Well, some of them are funny. There's one called Drooling. If you thought these were all sappy and theological, maybe not. John Bradburne had a good sense of humor. So let's see just a little bit of this one. Drooling. This is on page 62, and this is from the 31st of January, 1978, so towards the end of John's life. In humans' love most close embrace, two truly intertwine, whilst each sees not the other's face. But is it not divine? Lest interlinear remarks may hold too much the sway, let us rise early with the larks, united and as gay. Art feeling down? The sun is up, the dew is on the grass. So go to Jesus' loving cup and thank him at the Mass. Be sure to have no gloomy thoughts on the dark night of the soul, nor seek to see the one in 3 whose being keeps you whole. This is to say, seek not to scan how handsome is his face, but know by faith the Son of Man and run to his embrace. If there were need for God to speed beatific's visions hold, he'd expedite, and you'd see the light ere one more moment's told. Oh my! Be careful what you're wishing for. So drooling isn't mentioned in the poem at all, but it's kind of warning you. Yeah, be careful what you wish for. If you really want to see Jesus, could happen. And that's interesting because that is written towards the end of John's life right there. The next poem then is Antony and Eris. So you get that one very much had a very rhythmical thing going there, right? That rhyme and meter. And some of them are very much more pensive. I don't know if I'm going to find a more pensive one. Let's see one just to read a little bit. 82. This is page 82, 1971. He wrote, De amor liberatum liberatus, about the love of children, books, and liberty. And I'll read you just the first stanza. So you're only going to get the children, you're not going to get the books and liberty. On the love of children, Lord, I have it not, unless these endless lines I have begot may rightly be accounted progeny, then Lord, I love them all and hate not any. John is so fun. For a man who did not marry nor have children, he did date. I think he was once engaged, and we're not 100% sure what happened with that. But he did live a long life and saw much love in its many forms, and they are captured here for you in this book. Again, you can look at the poems for free at johnbradburnepoems.com, but to get these, you're going to go to the JBMS, the John Bradburne Memorial Society's website at www.johnbradburne.com. God bless you, friends.